Hey, what's up guys? Gons here with this week's word of encouragement. And this one comes from the book of Job, verses 16 and 17. And it might be a little strange, but I'll explain why I chose this one for this week. Here's what it says. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leadeth counsellors away spoiled, and maketh the judges fools. Now, just to provide some context, this whole chapter of Job 12 is actually Job responding to Zophar, where in the previous chapter, Job 11, Zophar criticizes Job for not knowing God and compared Job to an empty-headed man. And this is where Job shows that he indeed knows God and understands who God is. And actually, if you read through verses 13 through 25, this is Job describing God's great power. But instead of going through all of them, I just wanted to highlight verses 16 and 17 because I think it's important to remember. Now again, 16 says, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Now, of course, we all understand that God is strength and wisdom. That doesn't take much breakdown. But the part after that, the deceived and the deceiver are his. This is really interesting, and I think it actually directly applies to the stuff we talk about on this channel, because there's a lot of deception out there, and there's a lot of misdirection and confusion and people trying to hide things from us in the world. But this is proof that it doesn't elude God. God knows all this. And so what's interesting is that he says the deceived and the deceiver are his. So when we think about the deceiver, we think about the secret societies and the Illuminati and all that stuff. But then the deceived, it's also talking about those global leaders and whatnot, but also the victims of that deception that comes straight down from Satan. So for example, we often think about how Christians are asleep, and some family members or friends that are Christians in your church, they may not be privy to what's going on, and it's sometimes really frustrating. But I think we can relax here and know that even they are under the protection of God, so to speak, because I think the kinds of information that we uncover and we dive into, it's not for everybody. But ultimately, perhaps one day when something big happens, it will be those of us who have been looking at this stuff that can come to the forefront and speak to the body and help them understand what's happening. So in any case, I think when it says the deceived, it's talking about the deceiver themselves with the different groups, but also maybe some people who we would consider falling for that deception. And so it's our job to simply help them understand, but ultimately they are still under God's strength and wisdom. And then the next verse, which I'll read in the ESV just to make it easier to understand, he leads counselors away stripped, and judges he makes fools. Again, this speaks into people in leadership that are purposely and knowingly deceiving those that they are counseling and those they are judging. And it's just proof that God has power over them as well. And ultimately, he is going to strip them of their power, and he's going to make fools out of the judges. So this is a shorter word of encouragement, but I hope it does encourage you because it's a display of God's sovereignty and his ultimate control over all the evil that we see and we talk about and we uncover. And I still think it's important to talk about and explore those things that are deceiving people, but it's not so much the key to their salvation. The actual key is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And if that's not at the center, if that's not the punchline to all the stuff that we talk about, then it's pretty fruitless. So that's it for this week's word of encouragement. Hope you guys have a wonderful week.